Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Fishel with an update on Hurricane Irene. We have a new advisory in from the Hurricane Center, which we'll share with you in a minute. First, we want to go on ahead and show you here the radar, and this is out of the Melbourne, Florida radar, and you can still see the circulation fairly well defined there. A good ways away from Florida. They've certainly had some locally heavy squalls there as these bands have rotated around the center, but no danger of any landfall in Florida. We're simply using that radar to give you a reference point as to where things are. All right, now this is the infrared view, taking it up to the latest time, and you can still make out that little pinhole eye there in the middle of Irene, and the pressure had fallen steadily during the course of the evening and has now leveled off right around 942, 943 millibars, and the location is 28.7 north and 77.3 west. Now, that longitude number is critical because the forecast from 11 o'clock, the latest full advisory we had, took that number, I believe, to like 77.8 by morning. Now, if it stays at 77.3 or 4 and continues to head almost due north, then that raises the possibility of a landfall farther up the coast. In other words, instead of it being around Morehead City, it would be more likely up around the Outer Banks, even east of Cape Lookout. So that's going to be real critical to keep an eye on that number to see whether or not there's any westward movement at all in this storm track, or whether or not it does continue to head straight north or even north-northeast. And the more it does that, the more of a threat it becomes to the Outer Banks, and a lesser threat farther down the coast. Now, let's take a look at that forecast track. And again, this is based on the 11 o'clock advisory, and it has a major hurricane, a Category 3, just east of Cape Fear at 8 a.m. Saturday morning. But again, if present trends continue, it may be a little farther east than that, and then the storm weakening, and I hate to use the word weaken, but lose a little bit of punch down to a Category 2 along the northern coast of North Carolina by Saturday evening. And then as it pulls away to the north and east, conditions would improve rapidly across the entire state, leaving us with a sunny and hot day on Sunday. So obviously this is a very formidable storm in terms of central pressure. If you look back through history, Fran was about 950 millibars when it made landfall, and this is lower than that. Hugo was about 934, 935, and we're not quite down to that yet. But certainly when you're talking those kinds of storms, Fran, Hugo, you're talking about important storms that have the potential to have significant impact where they go. So obviously we'll be keeping an eye on that, and also that exact trajectory to see where this landfall is going to occur. We'll have another update coming up right around the 3 o'clock in the morning hour, and we'll continue these hourly cut-ins, and of course we'll have our complete morning news coming up later this morning as well, and Mike Moss will fill you in on everything going on at that point in time. So have a good morning if you're still up, and we'll talk to you about an hour.